Alright, and... wow. We have transcoder options for the first time in forever. How y'all doing today? I'm Federico. Welcome, welcome. We actually have transcoder options. So how y'all doing today? I finally got the deal to my sister new campus. And I had to take my car in for maintenance, and a good thing I did, and it's issue, and right now it's going to cost probably about $1,000 minimum. $1,000 to freaking $1,300. So we're starting a little late, so I doubt we will finish this case tonight. Well, it's Monday, so Ace Attorney Day. It's gonna suck once we finally finish this game, and it'll probably be within 3 months. I just love. Yeah, I'm already used to the music. And lastly, posting on the Extra Life Discord. Don't forget, there is an incentive I want to try to get. I will donate the rest of the amount needed. I still have a $10 donation to match. But if you want to help out my local CMN hospital, Children's Miracle Network Hospital, Nicholas Children's Hospital here in Miami, exclamation Extra Life. 60% will go for education, 40% for new life-saving equipment, and I will match your donation, so you will have double the impact. Alright, so we start in case 4. The Adventure of the Clouded Kuroko. Anime time.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sherlock, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Must be pretty bad police forces. They can't just freaking solve everything. Invisible killer. Alright. Now we're ready. February 19th, 9:47 a.m. British Supreme Court. Lord Chief Justice Office. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Nerdgirl? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious, I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling and they're brighter than day in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time in the SS Bruya, wasn't gonna waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. So they were not in the same room. Oh yes, it was really a sort of night you could only dream of normally. Except when I learned that we owed £3 for the room. That dream quickly turned into a nightmare. So a pence, a pound, and a guinea. I picture the guinea is like basically $100 or more, 1,000. Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive, the answer so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking. In the lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would have put a roof over our head for a whole year. Ooh. No. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. I really am sorry. I would have paid for you. Imagine if you had all the guineas from the guy. Well, never mind. We must find some affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, the entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. God damn it. I have to mute this. Actually, you know what? I'll just play the charge. I should not put Discord notifications on my phone. It should not be on my watch. Notifications. Mirror list from Discord? No. That's better. Now if I get something important, I also won't know on my watch. The entire stipend. Urgh. London is a scary place. Good morning to you. What was his voice? Oh, good morning to you in this early hour. Oh, yes, I'm well. Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. You come to report the outcome of the trial of the Old Bailey yesterday. So Susan sounds amazing. She doesn't even bat an eye, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart. Yes. I believe you had a very comprehensive invitation to British courtroom practices. Oh yes, that was very eye-opening. Thank you. And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruto performed his duty to the end. Yes, I've already been apprised of the events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Oh. No longer are you a student of the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. Hello.
My country is delighted to welcome a young talent from their such remote Eastlands.
Thank you so much. So, I'm a lawyer now. What's up, Pope? Looking for something?
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust it won't be a problem.
Another case already? Next day?
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure you don't sense dissatisfaction, do you? Do I?
It's just that yesterday's trial ended, unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it.
What's to come to terms with? Man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
What happened after the case?
The culpability of the defendant has not at present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
Well, Lord Vinzix, it is a pleasure, so it is. So as for you, my dear fella, I could have asked for a better defense. That's me, pot of gold. He is a perfect leprechaun. You just can't help but wonder if Mr. McGriddle wasn't really innocent. That's what we called him. Mr. Naruhodo. It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
Well, you need not trouble yourself for a second longer.
Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
Magnus McGriddle passed away immediately following the trial.
He was in the fucking coach. No! What? Nani? Mr. McGriddle is dead?
I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until the next engagement. Time enough to talk.
That was the second case right there. Just like all the naughty books packed together in the shelves. It goes floor to ceiling. No, the books we couldn't help to come by Japan. It's a dream. Yes, a very bad dream. They're not all about British law either. They're books on the judicial system of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland. What about Russia? Or America? Why do you ask? Certainly I was asking Lord Chief Justice how to say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think? I think perhaps it's thought best abandoned. Same inspections as before. Look at these menacing Jamin giants facing each other across the room. I believe they're suits of armor. Alright. Thought maybe they were just lion dogs in the Garden Japan dark shards. No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, the suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know? They roam in the middle of the night. Really? Something you don't know, Mrs. Otto? The book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're unsure, just ask. Where did she get such an incredible tome? This would be Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble. That's more like it's over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me. I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo. It feels like everything was made out of wood and paper at home. And it's made of brick and stone here. I know, that's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure. And the cogs.
Is this some kind of clock? Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of clock. A giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you find in a steam locomotive, even. It's eerie. I think the clocks are some sort of hobby of his. Or Lord Chief Justice, I mean. Well, boys do like fiddling with their machines, don't they? Not sure you could fiddle with cogs this size. I'm certain you could even call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise those cogs make considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Alright. The armband. Armando is singing. He just loves the music and stuff. Oh, Charm, may I show you this? To accept this item, issue receipt. To accept this item, issue receipt. Examine it thoroughly and make a formal statement in my findings. It requires something or recognition 24 seconds of my time. Sorry? Does the item warrant 24 seconds of my time, Mr. Noel? I hope. Let's leave it for now. To accept and issue a receipt will cost 24 seconds. Hope down. Lawyer's name is important on the inside here. Look, Kazmasagi. It's his band, of course. He has started a study tour in Great Britain. I'm sure we have found the truth he longed for here. Lost his life before we even had a chance to. I have a songstress of his hopes and dreams when I look at this armband, though. These are the scales of justice. They're a symbol of defense, aren't they? Yes, that's right. Scales are a symbol of fairness to show that it's treated equally in the eyes of the law, but they are not. And they're a warning to those in the courtroom who have an impartial mind. Yeah, nobody cared about that. No. No. With the mark of the defense, it would be more auspicious if they were weighing more heavily on the not guilty side, I think. Hope! Get out from behind the couch. Do not do that again. I'm watching. Very impartial, I'm sure. Alright. The useless stuff is out of the way. Mr. McGriddle's death. Get out from behind the couch. I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead? No. No biting. After the trial was concluded yesterday, today there was a great deal of commotion at the opening. Get out from behind the couch. No. As a presumably recall, the omnibus has been wheeled into the court. The Phoenix Wright omnibus. Yes, of course. It was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGriddle had been accused of. Precisely. Oh! No. Well, by the bailiffs.
What? No.
No bite. Now you get held for 5 minutes. Oh, well, the bailiff's attention was diverted to some other matter. The omnibus went off in flames. After a police officer said to tell him to help investigate. No. How could such a thing have happened? We're a very corrupt nation, man. Very corrupt. That's being investigated as we speak. But already. The police have identified a corpse inside, found the corpse found inside to be the charged shell of the carriage that of McGriddle. That's awful. Yeah. The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. The bailiff really needs to pay more attention. Yeah. How could that have happened? That's also being investigated as we speak. Thinking back now. Immediately after the trial, Mr. McGriddle did mention going back to the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Hey, I'm glad I'll be making tracks now. Time for the inspection. Sorry? What inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again. So I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. But then who was Mr. McGriddle talking about? Never mind that. The Yard is making through a thorough investigation. What? No nails. Leave it to the police. That's the lawyer that used to be the sister's lawyer, the one that died. Their boss. That's the voice I'm making. Poor Mr. McGriddle. He's now charbroiled. The British courts. That furious tail wagging. No nails. So, how did you find your first taste of the country Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was, wow. Mr. Nahoro means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of the Great Britain's long history. It's really a war apart from our old justice system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. We still have only police officers to look at the body and say, okay, that's what killed him, and that's it. No autopsy. Wow, Suzato-san has such a way with words. You seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can. Calm down. The most advanced in the world, is it? What? I was fortunate. But your very first trial was a simple affair. That's a simple affair? Simple? That was simple? That was simple? So I believe I mentioned yesterday morning. It was a trial you couldn't lose. Yeah, it was, skewered. I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. The case was anything but simple. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Well, Mr. McGriddle did pay for it. Is something funny? No. My apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that could only have been attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I don't know about that. Thought. Oh, never mind. You exceeded my position, I freely admit. That much is at least an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I prepared a new case for you. I mentioned him you. What's going on? Why is he going to save it for? Could you perhaps give some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me it's a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes. Don't worry, nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? That is to say, no one has died as yet. Really? The trials will not be today. There's plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise. Ha! So the trial's tomorrow then. Is everything alright? Oh, yes, I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was, well, left me wondering if they're really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruto. I don't know if I could even face standing in that courtroom after Mr. McGriddle's trial. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. There's one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. Oh? The situation remains unchanged. The trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. Okay, you can go now. That happens. I need to remind you of the inevitable outcome. The most terrible end awaits the defendant. Yes, that's right. Oh, here we go again. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me. I'd advise you start making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There's now about 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds left until the court sits. As they mentioned 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time. And one more thing, Mr. Naruto. There's something I would like to ask you. What's that? Yesterday, you remarked about something that you intended to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asaki. It'll be interesting to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Oh well, Kazuma said he wanted to say, you see, well, to learn how the greatest justice system in the world works so he could change ours in Japan. Now he's gone and he would like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Oh. Another thing? Continue. On the way here on the steamship, he said something to me. There's something very important I have to do. Something very important? What was that? What would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. Suppose he would have done it if we ever made it to the Great Britain. Out of time. Well, thank you for our enlightening discussion. Mr. Naruto. Well, what's all this about? Mr. Sagi never once mentioned any sort of thing to me. I urge you both to face your attentions to the matter at hand. Taking the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to appraise you in the details. How long has he been there? So, I wish you best of luck. And bid you farewell. That. There's something very important I have to do. Kazuma-san, what did you mean? I wish I knew, but honestly, you never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. Let me just imagine it, but I would say he looks pleased to see us. He wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. What's that in his hand? Is that French fries? Could we trouble you? French fries rolled in newspaper? Let's see what do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with eating? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some flippery about the weather doesn't get you every English out of eating out of your hand, you know? But last son told me it was a foolproof. A busy man. Very busy man. There's a crime to investigate, but I'm here having to get the likes of you talking to. I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers would be like saying, huh? Never been a Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with some bigwigs these days. Not because of some bumpkins who are here on the jaunt from the country I've never even heard of. You've never heard of Japan? Why aren't you uneducated? Get that rippy's hand. That's my reputation in the yard going to status. So I need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryusuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. Eh? Pleased to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Sue. Eh? A woman? It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? It seems unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable. How did she pull that off? Well, she has boobs. You don't. That's how that happened. So, Lord Stronghart has asked me to fill you in on the details of the case. Name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Susanoo-san? Does that his name mean something to her? He's finally calmed the fuck down. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know the man, Mrs. Otto, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he's featured prominently on the adventures of the Sherlock Holmes. Oh, and that publication, what's it called again? The Man's Magazine? That's right. Inspector Gregson and Holmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Uh-huh. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course. He does come up with good ideas from time to time. On rare occasions, yeah. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary to you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is your pick of the bad lot of the Scotland Yarders. Is a pick of all the bad lot. Those were his words. That's not a good compliment. That's his highest praise. Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. That he is not. Thanks to that magazine, my name's all over London town now. It's great, isn't it? Phew. I have to admit to start with, I was a little flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation in yard went through the roof. That's wonderful. Well, no, it's not. There's nothing more sinister than a man on the street. People always look at me now, whispering rumors beneath their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he's gone to appearing in those stories. Fame has gone to his head, stuff like that. Gosh, you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? That blank stare of hers. Like you said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what the folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs. Get the feeling a detective could be very hardworking. Oh dear, perhaps the sunrise of fame does change people. Alright, the case. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. Sorry, we're concerned in the yard. It could be some. Oh dear. That probably means, as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it could be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. The young woman was walking on the pavement on the Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's laid up in the hospital, unconscious. Stabbed in the back and alive? It's despicable. What kind of coward would attack a poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished off whoever it was with the societal take-down, would you? If they hadn't stabbed you in the back. It's neither here nor there, Mrs. Naruhodo. Brace yourself, Ryosuke. You vanguarded now. Anyway, after something of the world investigation, the criminal was arrested. Barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left of the scene now you led you directly to the culprit? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question? Let me stop you right there. Waste your time on this one. Sorry? Nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. Prosecutor has been assigned to the cows tomorrow. It is Lord Barak von Zeeks. No. It's like you've heard of him then. Oh, we just won against him yesterday. Yes, we were very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. Reaper of the Bailey. Yeah, we won against him yesterday. Lord Baron Van Seeks, the one we were facing only yesterday. Mr. McGriddle told us about him in the trial, didn't he? With Mr. Van Zeeks for the prosecution, they call him the accused of sacrificial lambs. And every single trial he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. Reaper of the Bailey nickname. Suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates has been found guilty, isn't that it? Until yesterday. Until we won yesterday? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruto secured a guilty, not guilty verdict. Ha! And what of it? Oh, well, I think... means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Ah. Magnus McGiddle came a cropper in the omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't really say you saved the defendant, can you? Wait, what are you saying? So you're saying Lord Van Zeeks is a murderer? Look, if the Van Zeeks would get in the dirt and stick on anyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. You really supposed to believe that? It still has fries to eat. Where's that fish and chips? Well, I filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. Yeah, it's fish and... yeah, they're called chips, not fries. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place? That's correct, man. If you head over to the holding cells, you'll meet the criminal himself. Brandon, I'm a criminal already? He's a good ass. Shaking his leaf in the cell, he is. It'll give you a little chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer, he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. There's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, as they say. Something trouble you, Mr. Naruto? To tell you the truth, when I recall yesterday's trial, I can't help stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... well, if it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. ... But if the man they're arrested is innocent... you could well imagine he'll be shaking like a leaf in the cell. Not for one who could not find the sight of that funny. So if I'm honest, I'm still reading from the shock of yesterday's events myself, and I'm really not sure how I'll be in this man, wherever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think there'll be making some inquiries. Can you help me? Did you really think you had to ask? A nice smile. After all, I'm your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes! Let's go! Don't try to punch my face. After all you've done. I owe you 5 punches in the face.
I'm keeping the detective voice for Herlock. I'm pretty sure we're gonna find him again. The one I use for the other detective I have. Gumshoe. Lord Chief Justice Stronghearts in Great Britain's capital city, London. That's the office of the Lord Chief. It's grand stone architecture's echoey of tick-tock cogwheels and lead in the air. Come here, I wonder what awaits us. Prison cells with also sought below tile, visiting is permitted at certain times. Okay, first let's go to the prison. 19th February. Local prison, cell 9. These are British prison cells. Oh, they're ghastly. It feels like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruto. You're making it seem worse. Look at it. She's tearing up. Well, until you're behind the jail cell. Apparently, our client is in this cell down here. It's so dark and at the back there, I can't make out. I wonder if he's like. Your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding in the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I a cat? As yet with no names. Calling me by a number is utterly unbelievable. Unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Mr. Naruhodo, what? Nani? What do you think is going on in here? I had no idea, but if I wasn't just hearing things, was I? The tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Is it fucking Herlock? No, it's not. Look, a face. Excuse me, who? Shh, quiet. Dot. They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening even now. I can sense it. Right, so could I ask you who exactly? There you are. You're coming to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide your ghosts. A ghost? You mean you don't harm prisoner son? Yes, prisoner son. Yes, prisoner son. Are you Japanese by any chance? Dot. This is beyond my wildest dreams. Forgive me for now, prisoner. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Oh, yeah, I should set my alarm. to be at work at 8:30, so... $7:15. Sorry, this is important because it's my first day of this new schedule again. Alright, that's better. So yeah, I don't have too much longer left to play today. An hour. Oh, it's fine, we were just a little surprised is all. Imagine it! Been 12 long months since I've left my hometown. Here I am, a frightful fix for a foreign land. You don't really look Japanese either. So you're in the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice. You're in this damn dark hellhole was most monumentally moving moment. Who would have guessed this new client Lord Strongheart assigned this? It turned out to be a fellow Japanese. Ah, what compassion my fellow countrymen show. Dispatch of first-class lawyers all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, murdering, never failing, Nippon! First-class lawyer. Oh dear. I think there's been some misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Well, you've been detained as a suspect, for example. Yes, I can. I will. Son and silent. I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you say. My name is Ryosuke Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotaba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notably, his name, Natsume. Soseki Natsume. This guy seems a little strange. Only a little. Yes. Symbol of our great empire's first-rate lawyers. Which means, of course, you'll stand on my side. You'll defend me. Oh no, sorry, that wasn't why I showed it to you. Then why else would you show me that? Oops. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea. Just because we can. These cases are always interesting. Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name. You just call me Soseki. Yeah, I'm a poet, you see. Writer of haiku. Something of a nom de plume. Nom de plume, you mean an alias? That's right, Naruto-san. No, don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku, that really reminds me of home. You say you were a visiting student sent over by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago I was told to go study English. First I had to suffer that misery, now this. Beyond pale. Suffer that misery? You don't want to study here? Well, I mean, I had an interesting time in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh? But just because the government tells you to do something, that doesn't mean you can do it, no? What do you mean? It told me to study English literature. That I could understand. That's my field. But no, it told me to study the English language. Utterly incredible, unjust, unreasonable. I see. Well, the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. Tendered a blank piece of paper. Why, it's words on white washi. You must be a man of great standing. Oh yes, so I'm often told. And often likes to be told, it seems. The accusation against you. Could you perhaps tell us what you've been arrested for, Soseki-san? I didn't do it. I couldn't commit that atrocious murder. Murder? Oh, no. It's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife. Right before my eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. Nani? What? If I'd seen the person who did it, you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear, it seems like the case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed right in front of me? It's cursed, the curse of London. It's... yep. Incredibly, exhaustively, irritating, inconvenient. So Seki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's fine that we find out more about the case. About the case. How convenient. Tell us what you saw. It was about it was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear in a heavy fog. I had been at the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too. So walking about the accursed pavement, I could make out a sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was. So just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a scream and collapsed to the ground. The courthouse thrown at my feet. How terrible. I called out to the one, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. It did say it's shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous. Think I was wearing these high-haired English? And a young woman like that? I'm different, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people! Yes. Yep. Relatable. I see. The young women are known to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody else pass you? Regrettably? Apart from myself and that woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great. Well, it was a fog, so yeah. So the victim was unknown to you and there was nobody else in the street at the time. Creates some of a conundrum, doesn't it? What conundrum? Conundrum? What are you on about, woman? Speak plainly. Some of us aren't as educated. What do you mean, Suzaru-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if the second-san told us the truth, it's true, there is something I can't explain. See, he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he had apparently fled without having been seen. I did. But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. Ah, you! What did you say? Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought a little too loudly. Actually, that's not what I was troubling. What I was thinking was, how has the second-son actually come to be arrested? Sorry? You didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police discover that he was there in the first place? They followed the footsteps. Oh yeah, she's right. It was him. The cursed great detective. He led the police to me. Ah, Mr. Jackass, Sherlock Holmes. Well, apparently he's very racist and hates foreigners. Of all the bad luck. Cursed great detective? Could it be... I forget the man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed, but busybody, be gone! You may be cursed until the end of days, Sherlock Holmes. I knew it. Mr. Sholmes? Sherlock Holmes. I guess, like I said, he followed the fucking footsteps out. It has to be your criminal. Alright, nothing too important on Discord. Alright. I already saved, but whatever, just to do it. Sherlock Holmes. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. Some morning after the nightmare I had folded in the pavement for me, snarling on a sliver of hard cheese, and some men suddenly burst into the door. Started shouting at me. "This is the police! Put the weapon down!" It's a sense of yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting. Hey there, discrimination, devils. You clearly had a more trying morning yesterday. Yeah, clearly this hasn't changed. Clearly just hasn't changed in decades. Put down the cheese. And there it was, in the middle of all the policemen. Grinning like a Cheshire cat. Of course. That's that dumbass. That Sherlock Holmes. It's actually Sherlock Holmes. He's English. So I found out that he's a famous name in the detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really well known. And his overly sharp mind had deduced my whereabouts, apparently. Thinks I'm a knife-wielding madman. This week stooped to kidnap a man. The great deduction process led him to this conclusion this time. Yep, his flawed detection conclusion. You mean to say Mr. Sherlock Holmes' deduction was the only reason you were arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into the panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were, that's only natural. Terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing questions and questions at me like in impossible English. Finnish foreign film flammery. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for that question you in English. Good point, good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So they just kept repeating things like, "Yes, I do," and "Yes, I'm fine." Next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine, he's not fine now. Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo, and or in English, just a simple mister is more than enough. Oh yes, England. Yeah, that's right. They really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. Please, I beg you, defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell me. They can tell me what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself. I'm only on a study tour. A student? I defended that case in Old Bailey, just one though. It was yesterday. At the moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to be leaving. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, Naruhodo-san. Not even a foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm sort of a locum lawyer, I suppose. But the armband, the mark of the defense lawyer, is from the Great Empire. It's like easy for the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. Keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh? What do you mean? The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me. Goodness, why? Why would you say that? He's a foreigner. A Gaijin. Reverse discrimination. For the same reason you noted before, when it happened. There was only one victim myself around, and I ran away from the scene of a crime. Not a fool, I know what it looks as. It looks as though I was a culprit. Must be very hard for you, Suzuki-san. Anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreigner, nobody to them. Foreign nobody. Someone not to be trusted. Heard them openly laughing about me before. In my earshot without any compunction at all. Any trouble with this man would be a waste of time, they said, and of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say that man doesn't understand half of what's been said anyways. That's awful, but it's true. You're wrong. Study more English than half of the policemen out there in the streets. Traveled halfway around the world to learn about these damn people's country and their great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I like to entrust my fate to someone who can actually listen to me on my native tongue. Would you do it? Couldn't you? You could. When I looked in your eyes, I could see it. I can see what you've been through. So, Saki-san, it's just that. Give me a little time, please. Alright? I'll do what I can. For the time being. What do you mean? What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. We can find some clues. It'll give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes. Thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should be going then, Naruhodo. I have a case to prepare for. Oh, we have nothing else for him. And now we go investigate the case. The prison cell of the defendant is like someone is being held in. It's quite quiet and the light from the candle is dim, but there's a chance of sleeping. Cold dark jail brings home the reality of the punishment. Fox News. Cow attacks keeping people off the beach to a popular tourist destination. Really? Alright, let me go pee real quick. I'll be right back. She just woke up. No. Alright. To the crime scene. Looks a little nice-ish. Strand Street, but we want Briar Street. 19th February, Briar Road. That must be it. Orders a snowman, so this is where it happened. Briar Road. Ah, look, Mr. Roto. Look at the regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. These men are starting yard here. They're investigating as we speak. That's their job, you know. Mr. Roto, to see one with my own eyes. Often depicted in the adventures of her lost children, but I never dreamt that I'd come here so this close. To a real Bobby's helmet. What, Nani? The helmet? Yeah, so you gotta talk about all the helmets. All the hats, that's the trophy. Yeah, of course, I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your hatty dream comes true. What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh, Inspector Grayson. This is on a tourist trail, so I'm pretty sure you're well aware. Yes, of course. We're here to investigate. So you've been to the holding cells then? What do you make of the criminal? He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's just a suspect. We'll see about that. You Japanese all stick together, I suppose. Well, at least you knew he was Japanese. Do as you will. It doesn't bother me. The book's in court tomorrow, whatever happened, and the verdict's going to be a foregone conclusion. The stone cold air of rejection. Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone cold air. That makes it worse somehow. Strand Street. That's a rather typical brick building, isn't it? Sure has a long and interesting history. Well, it certainly does seem to have taken its toll in the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. The gutter is, that's true. In fact, it looks decently worse shape than all the other houses around here. Must find some cheap lodging ourselves as soon as possible. Yeah, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonable level floors. Look at... What? Broken bicycle. Oh, a British bicycle. Look. Although the wheel is somewhat misshapen. Sure, it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Some wants to be some breakneck cycling. Seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. Seeing a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. Ooh. Bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why I don't want to ride something like that. Goodness, you just like bicycles? No. I mean, it's just not that I dislike them exactly. Just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off the ground seems reckless. You ever try walking on stilts and falling into the river? You know you'd agree with me. Well, we'll hire a bicycle someday. You can sit behind me while I ride you around. Ah, that's sweet. That's very sweet. What's this stone thing? Is that a horse post? Well, look at the windows of that building there. Windows? They're all fucking boarded up. Are you sure they're windows? Yeah, they're all filled with bricks, though. Oh, you're right. I wonder why. This is a bad part of town. Perhaps it's an empty property where no one lives at the moment. There's smoke coming out from the chimneys, though. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. So much we learned about this place. Why is there no glass? That's a good question, though. Smoke. The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? Well, dense fog as well, everything looks hazy. Early California. In London. Yeah, it's also known as foggy London town. I just can't make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built. Ah yes, I see the Crystal Tower. The Crystal Tower. Off in the distance. It's still being built. The Great Exhibition should be open in 6 months' time. Light is going to be very striking. Glazed on all sides and symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition. It's to be the largest exhibition in history, isn't it? I can't believe I even begin to imagine it. How about the road itself? There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage bricks. It seems the carriages travel often on the road. It soon disperses all this snow. I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. Seems to be far safer to walk on the road instead. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Road, and dressed in all black. What does that have to do with it? The worrying coachman might not see you and you'll be flattened by horses. Well, thank you for the rather small concern. Slipped over here. It's safer to walk down the road instead. You're small, dressed in all black. Where the coachman I see you'll be flattened by horses. Thank you for your rather small concern. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? The laundry might ride one of those throughout the streets of London. Oh, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. Yeah, that'll get you, but that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way... Help me find a good stone. No, I wasn't serious. It's a snowman. Hee what a delightful snowman. Didn't realize the English tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though. Oh, it has a scarf, look. You'd need one if you're wearing out this freezing cold this time. I wish I had one. Afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Sure, a snowman wouldn't miss his. But the person who made that snowman certainly would. Yeah, I know, you're right. Anyway. You never borrowed that wouldn't do much warming on my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. That's one of the officers of Scotland Yard. Police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I'm feeling that if they wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think probably you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so I have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught up again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing of what was going on. Yes, you have some dreadful experiences. It sure is that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors. Ugh. Barricade. This patch of pavement must be somewhere in the incident occurred. Yes, it's very wide and open space, isn't it? That's true, I can't see anywhere where the attacker could have been hiding. Oi! What are you foreigners doing here? Oh, we're investigating the scene, officer. Conspiring that mustache fellow from Japan, are you? Conspiring? Come here to restore evidence, have you? Get out of here before you give you an idling. Come on. Well, he was right. You shoot us away like rats. Yep, we should be give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience. Alright, so we gotta talk to this guy again now. Scotland Yard. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Here's the read about the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I've been fascinated by the place. The Yard, eh? It's the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, man. And you know, I've always dreamed of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. It does make him look the part, seeing the policeman out there in the helmet on. Certainly you can get the sense that this man is who he will take no nonsense on duty while protecting the city. Oh yes, doesn't it look wonderful? Being a London Bobby is hard going. I can tell you. Oh really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes around and rouses all the laborers on the beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Why would you fucking do that? Yep. Wraps on the windows on a line pole. Did it myself going in the back a bit. I had no idea. Bobby works for the people of town. Just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. Really now? 20 miles. Walking? I can't really imagine how far it is, but it sounds like a long way. It's more than a kilometer. Let's see, 20 miles. That's approximately the distance of Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. When he gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. The police officer does that? Oh my. I suppose in between all those duties, the Bobbies are expecting to investigate the cases as well. And chase after criminals trying to evade the law. I'm not surprised you could call it an in-between exactly. More alongside. But yes. They're expecting to handle the jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit. That means you don't have enough men. I always dreamed of wearing those helmets, and as I said, but it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream for you. To you, Mr. Naruhodo. Your heavy heart will be a heavy head if you do. My heavy head if you do. About the case. Once we mention this asshole's name. It happened around 5 in the evening, 2 days ago. They just said on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is it right that the lady is unconscious now? You mentioned that she's still being treated at the hospital. And then it says she was a lady. Eh. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. Suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Use them up at a local area. I have to have them. You can take it if you want. Ah, thanks. Really, you sure? Should I policy to give giving lawyers defending subjects an odd bit of information to go on? I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We're very grateful. Local map has been showing where the victim was found. At the end of the court record. Anyway. Investigating. Meerschaum Street. Caboche Road. Why would you make a fucking part of town like that? Angular. Right road. Not too useful. As far as we know, there was no one else in the scene other than the victim and your fellow courtmen. So who did it? What do you think? It's not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Asumi also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was there present. I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure. How? How? Because, man, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. It... What? Two reliable witnesses from us. In the fog? If the guy was right next to her and couldn't see her, then how could the fucking two other people? Ah. It's typical foggy London, and your client obviously didn't see him. There were witnesses now? So probably at the end of this investigation, we'll start the trial. Tomorrow, like the next week, rather. Who are these witnesses, Inspector? The fellow and his wife. The man was one of the most reliable and respected citizens of all the London. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. Ah. A policeman? That might change things. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked? Nothing peculiar about that, man. Part of the parcel of being a Bobby. Catching him banging the act and all. You think it might be possible for us to ask the policeman a few questions? You might guess. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. Oh. I don't thought I'd be summoned as a witness. That'll give you something to look forward to. Oh, that's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. Policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our jobs very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector. One more thing, Inspector. What? Nani? The person who led you to the suspect. Here was Mr. Herlock Sholmes. What do you bring him up for? ... That's something I said. The color has drained from his cheeks. What are you bringing up that buffoon for? Mouse trial. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you gonna defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me, but I'll just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole. You're surprised she was being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? There's no one to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It's all a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper. He hasn't appeared for a good few years now. Yes, we did hear something of that effect. And the only people we usually bother with are the real scum. The master criminals. The violent ones. Master criminals? The violent ones? That's right. He handpicks his victims. He only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for his sins. But Mr. Natsumi wouldn't hang for what he's been accused of, surely? That's my point, Sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but didn't kill her. Couldn't even say that the intent was there. This is the sort of case that I just expect the Reaper to just want to sink his teeth into. for want of a better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taking it, because I'm the lawyer. Really? What sort of reason, Inspector? You think I could tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. Are you really gonna have to face the Reaper again? Or Darkness, as he put it? Now, the name we brought up. Mr. Sholmes. That did that. Who did you hear that name from? Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said it was Mr. Sholmes who, with the police then when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was a result of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions that failed horribly. Fetal foul. Huh? The man's an amateur. I'm sick of getting tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Oh? I don't know where he gets this information from, but he turns up at the scene of a crime. Wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case. That's true. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he? Gabble gabble. Yeah. Don't curse at me. You ever seen this before? Oh yes, that Rants magazine thing. Wonderful publication of The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes appears. Yes, well, it's wonderful publication, you put it. Sees fit to touch it with fees to include several of Scotland Yard's detectives in his stories. The so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of this. If you ask anyone at the yard, it's a misadventure to be included in every Sherlock Holmes tale at all. Well, I suppose there is an element of that. You work off our socks, every one of us. Only be front in public thanks to an obnoxious detective. That man's as dangerous to all of us in Scotland Yard as he is to dark criminals. Yes, he is. That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh, yes? What is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. Really now? By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Exactly. Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? She needs a bonking. Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he? Yes, he did. Yes, he really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Can I ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet Mr. Sholmes again. That trouble is, you have no idea where this man's address is even. Speak us straight. Why are you about to attack me? Calm down, bitch. How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street. The most famous address in the world. Okay. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We're trying to find a way there before Mrs. Zaddle gets more excited and unpredictable. Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage. But we're already on the street. So we had the reunion already. With the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Thank you again for this. Oop, don't mention it. Ask someone at the yard to fish it out for me. In the end, I didn't need it. Oh? Well, the case would be hardly simpler, could it? I even have to work out what happened. You can throw it away when you're done with it. Cold. Inspector Gregson, can you show you this? Am I supposed to know what that is? I've never seen this insignia before. It's worn by the defense lawyers of the Empire of Japan. It's a symbol of their profession. In other words, it's a worthless trinket here in the Great Yes, it is. Oh no, it's very important to me. It shows my spirit. An English gentleman keeps things like a spirit very much to himself. I'll have you know. Oh. Don't give up, Mr. Naruto. It's too late. He's crushed my spirit already. A new location's been added. Police are investigating even in this bitter cold. Seeing like crime is a fairly wide street that easily accommodates carriages. Line of houses on both sides of tall brick houses. So you can't see anything else here. I think this is a good stopping point. I have to get ready for work and do a couple of things. And the earlier I get to bed is better because I have to be up very early for a 12.5-hour day. Alright, good night all. Thank you again for coming in, hanging out, lurking. Hope you have a good night. We shall be on again Wednesday with likely a new game, since Kenna was delayed officially. $20 games installed. Oh yeah, these are installed. Media Gallery is not a fucking game. Neither are these. So we have time, so we might as well start the... Yeah, might as well start a new game then. Or a backlog game, but I think we'll start with a new game first. Yeah, it's one we have not played before. So there's Kenna. 1 month away. And Deathloop is actually going to be sooner. 3 weeks away. All right. Don't forget to check out my socials so you can stay up to date on stream changes and read the random stuff I post. Apparently I had some lag frames an hour ago. So let's see who's on the raid.